I originally wanted to make a monoprinted card, so I used some white cardstock. I used a gel plate and created a monoprint on here in the background somewhere. And then I decided I didn't like it. So this became a piece of scrap paper, and I used it to remove some of the paint from my roller when I finished printing a layer of color onto a monoprint. So what you see here, rather than the original monoprint that's on here, you see roller cleaning exercises with some blues, some yellows, a little bit of green, and some red violet here. And after that sat for a while, I decided I could use the paper. I really liked the texture in the background. I liked the color combination. So I thought, all right, why don't I use it for something and create a new mixed media image? So I found this this lino block that I had previously carved. I don't know if you can see it really well on there, but there, maybe that's good. So I had previously colored that. So I used some of this blue and white ink, and I just rolled it over the surface, and I placed it on top just randomly, and I turned it. It's going to disappear for a minute. I turned it upside down. I used my Baron to press the paper onto the print. I carefully removed the print, and this is what I ended up with. Now, as it stands, it's not a great image, but this is the image we're going to use to create a new mixed media design. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is trim the image so that I just have, this is going to be the bottom of the print, this will be the sides, and there won't be any extraneous paint on the outside of the lino block image. So I'm going to line it up here. I'm just going to trim using a cutting board, steel ruler, and and hopefully a sharp knife. But in this, oh, there we go. There. All right. And then I'm going to follow. I'm going to use this as my guide, and I'm going to cut this like so. And again, I'm going to have to do it twice. There we go. Remove this. And again, use those lines there, solid lines as a guide. Hopefully it all comes out straight. And then I think I might just line this up here. I'm lining this up with the lines that are pre-printed on the cutting board. Cut twice. And there I have the image. I like the white at the top. It kind of looks like the sky fading off. So I'm going to live with that image, or that shape, and I'm going to start building up textures and colors on the surface to create a new multimedia design. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to create some texture on this bottom area. I want to make it a little bit darker so that it helps to weigh down the image and shows that it is the bottom of the image. So I'm going to use a gel plate. I'm going to create a bit of a print over the surface, and we'll see what happens. First thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to tape down the image, and I'm going to tape it right along the top line of that light blue that's on there so that I don't get my next color all over the place. And with this out of the way, take this, and I'm going to build up just some layers of textured color here. Just like so. And then I'm going to take the gel print, and I'm going to place it over the bottom here like this. And then a little bit more over here. And then I've got a darker look, and a little bit of it kind of looks a little bit like weeds or grasses growing at the bottom. I'll take it away from the rest of the image. There we go. It looks like that. So I thought I'd start by adding some white oil stick texture to the piece. So we're going to use this white titanium white stick from Cama Pigments in Montreal, and I'm just going to put little lines going down the bottom just to simulate trees, grasses, and weeds. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to put some squiggly lines of white just to create a highlight. I'm really only going to use white and black. I'll use the white oil stick, and then I'll use some graphite to darken the image. And then we'll just do crazy lines along here. And then I'm just going to do some little vertical lines along the top of the grassy hill as well. And that's it for the oil stick. And now I'm going to use a 5B graphite pencil, and I'm going to create some shade on the piece and just sort of some rough lines along the surface. This will create contrast in the image and help you recognize it as a three-dimensional piece. So I decided that I had too much magenta up here, too much red violet, and it was distracting from everything else on the piece. So I've decided to trim it a little bit, and I'm going to take an inch off the top here, and we'll see what happens. Oh, line it up. Line the ruler up with the lines that are on the cutting mat. And there we go. I like that one a lot better. All right, I'm going to consider this makeover finished. However, in the next video, I'm going to take this piece, add it to some other pieces, and create a larger collage.